So
we've had a couple people video. There's a really kind of famous radiation therapy video on the web where the guy put a GoPro on the machine. That's for that song Radioactive. You know the song Radioactive?
Oh, I'll have to find it.
It's pretty
now,
cool.
why did this assembly here turn?
So I can help you sit up. I can show you.
Okay. Yeah, the recording unfortunately stopped in the middle too.
Just sit up. So the main beam comes out of there. Inside there's these kind of metal bars that'll kind of change the shape.
Yeah.
And then this collimator turns, the table turns, the gantry turns.
Yep.
So all to just manipulate the beam to deliver it where the disease is and spare the normal tissue.
So you're using that as you've got that to collimate the beam and to act as a lens.
Right.
And
so it comes out as a square, so you can rotate it, and then inside there's these little metal bars. You can see that.
Yeah.
You can see in there.
Yeah.
So those are kind of changing during the treatment too. That's called the collimator.
Okay.
So the kind of combination of all those beams three-dimensionally will kind of deliver the dose to where the disease is, and it does deliver some dose to the normal tissue, but it can limit that. So it can.
And part of that's also why you're rotating it, because slight dosage over in here, but as you rotate it, it's been focusing at the center where you want to actually dose it the most.
I can show you a picture. It might make more sense.
Sure. Yeah, as you
down to this position as it goes around. So the color kind of represents the target area of the dose. So as it's going around, kind of, like it's kind of deliver more from this side and kind of weigh it, so that the idea is to spare the spinal cord, critical structures, salivary glands, issues that, areas that don't need it. So kind of those colors are representative on this graph. So the TV is the tumor volume, so this is getting all of the high dose, and these are getting a real limited dose. So the whole idea is to deliver where all the disease. So they're tracking all these kind of colors represent different areas and contours and dose. So does that make any more sense? I don't know if that helps explain it a little bit. So let's see if there's another. Sometimes there's actual X-ray image, not in this plan. So if it ends up being a whole bunch of different beamlets. So the first image, let me see if I can bring this up. So that's closed down, and then as it's going to go through, see how that changes the shape. So then as it's rotating around, it's going to open up to where the neck area is and spare this part.
Okay, so
as it's rotating around, it's going to be changing the shape.
Those were actually opening up various shapes as it was going around.
Kind of depending on your anatomy and contour. So sometimes it's pretty much closed down all the way. That's probably the lateral position.
Yeah.
It's coming straight across to block out everything except for that area right there. Then as it's going back up, it's going to open back up again. Does that make sense? And then this is just the original turn of the beam.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Now, what sort of dose were we looking at, and what sort of wavelength or energy were we looking at today?
So daily, you're getting 200 centigrade.
Okay.
So 25 fractions to a total of 5,000 centigrade.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to you. So 1 centigrade is sometimes referred to as a rad, 1 rad.
Yeah. Except for rad's not as a precise deal.
Yep. Be similar every day. So the imaging part can take a little bit different time, but the treatment part's always exactly the same.
And that was when I was hearing the, I'm guessing it was about a 4,000 hertz tone as you're moving that around.
Yeah, I don't know what the hertz is. You can, so there's if you look up the variant page, so there's that's the if you go to variant, VARIN.
Yeah, I looked.
Patient portal, I think, on this one. Maybe. Yeah, if you go here to patients.
Yeah.
This will kind of go through some of the machinery anyway, sometimes.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the more technical papers.
Or even if you go to the variant things, then you can go. But this will get kind of deep into it if you keep going through it, and they'll show you what machines and what the energies are and what.
Yeah, because I know looking at that's in the the beams could range from hard X-ray clear up into gamma ray type energies.
Yeah, I was going to see if I can find that GoPro thing for you real quick. Yeah, if you do
Okay.
radiation therapy, I think one of these is the.
So just do radiation therapy GoPro.
I think it's this one that's on Vimeo. It's pretty cool. It kind of shows it's a good view of it anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that, so you're not going to experience too much right away, kind of fatigue and tiredness. Then as your throat, your ear is going to get sore and ready into like the second or third week. Dr. Reed's here every
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. So you'll see
Yeah.
and then Teresa is our nurse. She sits right there. Other than that, we'll see you. Be great.
Yep. Thanks.
How are you?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Yeah, it started.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So, starting the process and weeks to go.
How many treatments are you doing?
I don't know for certain. I just know that I've got the first week scheduled, and they were talking about
Right now he has you down for 30.
yeah, and I figure that that's the norm, and he'll be deciding things as things go along.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly. Yeah, especially when you start entering probably that 4th or 5th week.
Yeah,
But anyway.
because I figure I'm going to end up with lots of imaging done over the process.
Oh, on this, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Teresa.
Okay, I'm Stephanie.
And every day, you know where the bathrooms are, they're down this hall.
Yeah.
There's coffee, there's tea, there's hot chocolate, and if you need anything while you're here. And Rachel and them, I mean, they're great at, and if something doesn't work, they do all your scheduling part of it.
So we're running 3:15 with the exception of Friday. It looks like Friday I'm 2:45. That works.
We come in earlier on Fridays. We come in at 7 and we leave at 3:30.
Okay.
So your weekend starts earlier.
Your weekend starts earlier.
Yeah, sometimes I have to work the weekend and that's okay too.
Yeah.
It's not bad ever. It's good.
Yeah. But.
And everything went okay?
Yep.
Good. They're great back there.
Yeah. Everybody's. I haven't dealt with anybody who hasn't been great in this whole deal.
That's a good thing.
Dr. Flowers, when he did the initial dermatology intake, he was great. And then the follow-up, checking if there was anything else that we needed to be worried about.
Is
and
Reed,
such.
is Reed your doctor?
Reed's my doctor. And, Dr. Reed and the other doctor, the resident, they were great. Dr. Fetter, who did the surgery.
Right. They all work hand in hand. They're close.
Yeah.
They're a good bunch.
Yeah, and that's one reason why, when I had my first surgery done over at Savola over by Augusta,
Uh-huh.
they were okay, but it was just, nobody mentioned, we should see you again here this time and whatnot.
How did you get here?
I was literally just, when I got my insurance, I called over to dermatology
That's how you.
because my insurance is a national policy. I work for a company that has no office. So,
Right.
we've got folks up in Toronto, we've got folks over in LA, we've got folks up in Connecticut and whatnot. And it's just, call, see if they're in the UVH system. And UVA is, and
Okay. Here. That's a good. That's
Yeah.
A good thing.
and I was looking to have moved up to Pittsburgh, but UPMC's great, but just the timing and such, it works out that
Everything works out for a reason.
yeah, it I get through this and I get through my first follow-up.
Man.
Hey,
Sleep.
Oh. Just doing all the. How you doing, buddy?
pretty good.
Is this the first one?
Yep, this was first one.
How'd you do?
Did fine.
Great.
And I now understand how that deal works on, how it opens and closes those bars and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, isn't that crazy? And then I saw you met with the dentist, and they
Yeah.
said everything looked great.
Yeah, they said everything looked great.
No, you're, no.
I'm-
Vernon's the day police.
But, I needed cleanings given how long it's been. But, I picked up my trays this morning and
Good. You can wear those during the radiation. You don't have to.
yeah.
If you weren't, it's fine. You're probably fine without.
Yeah, but, it's just 15 minutes or so before bed and whatnot. But,
Keep doing it. It doesn't hurt your teeth.
yeah, because, we're going to be affecting the salivary gland. And, they mentioned also the concern about the jaw and such. And, how if I end up having to have a tooth pulled, it's going to be slow to heal potentially. And
We want to avoid it.
yeah, prevention is a lot easier than fixing it.
An ounce of prevention is a pound of treatment.
Yeah, well, it's just like, on one of my first videos, I've been recording videos,
Oh, yeah?
and, I put, following Simone Gertz. Do you know who that is? Go up to YouTube and Google Simone Gertz, Brian the Brain Tumor. She does some stuff with Adam Savage now, and she did robot builds and whatnot, and she also bodged up a Tesla from a car to a pickup truck that looks much better than what Tesla came out with. Tesla actually told her not to bring hers because, they didn't say it in so many words, but they were embarrassed how ugly theirs was. But, she named hers Brian the Brain Tumor, and, talking about Erik the Ear Tumor and his offspring is helping me deal with the anxiety and such, particularly given my, as you remember, I'm a juvenile cancer survivor.
Yeah.
Do we have a date for her?
So,
For Sam?
IRT.
Oh,
So
right,
that's-
no.
but, I tried to record today's session, and I think the camera shut off halfway through, which it's been doing, but
Yeah. Well, good, man. We'll keep it up.
yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Yep, probably see you tomorrow.
I'll be over at the little break, but I'll be back here next month.
Okay.
It's just a little bit late. She's still running off. She's on the way. Okay?
See you, man.
See ya.
Bye. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. And your name is?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. I'm lousy with names. I forget my own. Wait a minute. What is my name? Yeah. First day working at Bell Labs.
Snoopy.
Yeah. First day working at Bell Labs, I was there introducing myself, and I'm going, I'm lousy with names. This says I'm Doug. I forget my own name if it wasn't for the name tag. You have a wonderful afternoon. Yep. So, I don't know how much of the first video recorded, but, I've got a calendar sheet here for the rest of the week, and, it's starting the adventure, so at this point, I'll have to find my car keys. There we go. They're in that pocket. Yeah, they got me in early even. So, but, yeah, I'm going to have to look up the radiation therapy GoPro treatment, or radiation therapy treatment GoPro video. When I post this, I'll put a link down below to that, and as I said, I want to share my experience so that, one, it distracts me from my anxiety from being as a kid. You've heard me say I studied astrophysics in college for a number of years. I understand radiation and whatnot a lot better than your average person walking in that door. 99 people walk in that door. I'm probably, with the exception of the staff there, one of the most knowledgeable about radiation and such. But, this is the big scary C word. And so, for me, it's the cancer and the unknowns that lay ahead of me, rather than the, oh gee, they're nuking me till I glow. So nuking me until I glow in the dark joke. But the radiation itself is not the worry. It's the future ahead and everything. Even with the depression, which some days I don't feel like it's worth breathing. That's the joy of depression. The dysthymia that gets pushed into, that's along with the autism that gets pushed into the depression, major depression area and whatnot, and, the anxiety and whatnot. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. And I would actually say that, FDR would have been better saying we have nothing to fear but the unknown and fear itself. But this helps me a little bit, and hopefully, even as I said in the tail end of, I think it was the second or the third video, if I help one person, just one person, deal with this sort of thing going forward, I will have accomplished my goal. I'd love for it to be a deal where lots of other people can sit there and they can say, oh, he called his Eric, and Simone called hers Brian. I think I'll call mine Sally or Pete or whatever. It's a scary time, and maybe, by showing my coping mechanisms and such, one person might go through things a little bit easier. Of course, 2 would be better, 3 even more better, 5, 10, 20, But if you happen to be the one person, let me know. I know I'm not getting a whole lot of views. Maybe the views will take off in coming weeks. I don't know. But it's just, sharing the knowledge. Like, if you're ever there asking yourself, should I put on more sunblock? There is no is not the correct answer. It's yes. Have I had too much sun? The answer is always yes. Little bits like that, along with, as I said a little bit earlier, going through life regretting not asking things, saying things. I'm 56. If I knew what I knew today when I was 26, my life sure would have been a hell of a lot better if I'd known what I know today when I was 18. Hell, if I knew what I knew today when I was 18, I'd be telling Mom and Dad, hey, road trip. I'm driving out to Missouri. And I would have met a 15, 16-year-old girl out there and introduced myself. Would have been better, if do it at 17 type deal. But, or, right around her 18th birthday, graduate from school, whatnot, go out and say hi. And you know, maybe things would have ended up much the same way as they did on my end. But, you know, maybe she'd also still be alive today, you know. 2020 hindsight. Except for, I always think that 2020 hindsight's putting it mildly. You know, when you really sit there and you look, it's not 2020. You can see the future with an electron or you can see the past with an electron microscope. You know, you see all the little things. You know, 2200, not describing it enough, but I'm going to end this and drop off. Well, I got a script to pick up, and I've got another script to hand them and pick up. So, you know, back over the mountain for me, and I got to figure out how the road comes in from the coming in from the west. So I'm, rather than driving over to 29 down to 64 and whatnot, I'm going to try to pick up the road straight from here to 64. Oh, and I got to remember cat food too. So take care, folks, and I'll possibly add some more to this later tonight.